Take 3 Wrestling Podcast. It is Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. It is the Takies. We are 1 week behind schedule, but we're here. Joe will be joining us eventually. He's at work. He'll get here when he gets here, and he'll probably come in the door real hot. Real hot.
Be my guess.
I mean, he did send us that TikTok video of Austin, the Kid Leroy.
Yeah.
I almost asked him, please stop, because you've now knocked the earth off of its geographical fucking tilt.
Yep. Yeah, that was a lot.
That was a choice.
That was the thing that happened. That was the thing that happened. A lot of those things that happened this week.
Oh boy. So while we wait for Joe, who's currently in an Uber on his way home, so we have a few minutes of downtime. Some crazy things occurred this week. This week.
Sure did.
Impact had a pay-per-view. There was a national title game.
Was there? I don't like it.
Someone was inaugurated into presidency.
Don't like that even more. Yeah, this was a week. This was a week of that happened in the world.
I had a baseball tournament that I showed up for the title game just to look out and see that it was an entire mud puddle at the pitcher's mound, so that we didn't even get to play that game. That sucked out loud.
That sounds fun and awful at the same time.
I got forced into emergency pitching duty because, for a lack of a better term, we shit ourselves.
Nice.
Game one. That kind of sucked out loud. So yeah, a lot of fun. And then I had to chase Joe down for his Takey Award. It's because if there isn't a more Joe Lopez thing that'll happen, it'll be him not getting me a list at any time.
Yeah, that feels like a thing.
And then I hit him with all right, man, whatever you decide, just if you get any more, send them to me by Thursday at 12. And he's like, I think that's all I got. I go on the internet and literally just type in worst matches of 2024 and pick 3 of them.
Right. Like it's
all readily available, my dude. I love you.
Yeah.
He got me one match, which we'll talk about at length in nauseum when we get to that, because, oh boy. But for those of you following along at home, we're going to finish the bracket for the Wrestler of the Year that we started 2 weeks ago. We have the final 16 participants in that, which I'll go over with in a little while. Our topics for the award show, we have Match of the Year, Men's Wrestler of the Year, Women's Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Faction of the Year, Promotion of the Year, Feud of the Year, which has in the past been known as the Hulk Hogan Paul Orndorff Memorial Feud of the Year. Shout out to you, Ernest E.J. Christian, if you're listening. Storyline of the Year, the Duke the Dumpster Drose Worst Wrestler of the Year. The Worst Match of the Year, which I think could probably call the Ronda Rousey Invitational if we really wanted to.
Yeah.
By the way, today I'm like, oh.
Not great, Bob.
I'm like, I want to watch something. I want to watch a wrestling show, something I haven't watched in a little while. I didn't want to watch any AEW. I didn't want to watch any of the NXT on the CW show. So I was like, you know what, let me open up the cock. So I opened up the cock and I'm scrolling and I'm like, oh, let me watch a Royal Rumble because we're in Royal Rumble season. I'm like, let me watch one post-pandemic.
Okay.
Of course, I throw the fucking one on that Ronda Rousey wins the fucking Women's Rumble and I get all pissed off all over again. And then Brock Lesnar wins the men's one after losing the title to Bobby Lashley, which sets up the worst Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns unification match at fucking WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I was like, but I have no one to blame but myself.
Nope, you certainly do not.
I was so mad, and I'm like, God damn it, Mike! Why the fuck are you doing this to yourself? And I remembered I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yeah. We all do it to ourselves at different times.
Oh God, so bad. All right, so I guess because Joe did not get me a worst wrestler of the year list, we can hop into that because it's just mine and Jim's votes. Hopefully, Joe gets in here while we're talking about the worst wrestler of the year. So, that being said, there was 4 wrestlers that got nomination for the worst wrestler of the year by myself and Jim. In 4th place, Giovanni Vinci. He finished with 1 point. He got a 3rd place vote from, I believe, Jim.
Yes.
In 3rd place was the guy that I put as the number 2 worst wrestler of the year. That's Ridge Holland.
Oh yeah,
that guy sucked out loud. He even killed Andre Chase University. So fuck him.
Yep.
And then in 2nd place, some people call him the Ocho, some call him the Nueve. I call him a royal pain in the dick. Chris Jericho.
Thing sucks.
Yeah,
that doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, he was my worst.
Don't worry, it doesn't work for us either, bud. And the takey for the worst wrestler of the year goes to the guy that I had number 1. You had number 2. Generic Jack Perry.
Yeah. Yep.
That kid's pretty fucking generic. Yeah, it stinks. That's fucking for sure. I'm gonna go on his cage match real quick while we wait for Joe here. I want to look something up. Generic Jack Perry currently on Cage Match ranks as a 7.19 out of 10. Really glad that Tony Khan has voted, 453 valid votes.
You, Tony!
He's had to have voted at least 211 times.
Well, that just tells you that the internet doesn't need to dictate anything.
Correct. He has 17 9-star 9.0 rankings, 164 8s, 121 7s, 65 6s. Everything else is in the like 10 or less. So his matches for 2024 didn't have a lot of them. He had the New Japan Cup first round match where he beat Shota as part of House of Torture. He got to the 2nd round in that, beat Toru Yano, and then lost to Sonata in the quarterfinals. But if you look, a lot of the bulk of his 2024 was really the New Japan stuff until May because of the whole him quitting or being fired or whatever it was from the whole being the scapegoat of the All In situation or All Out. Was it All In?
All Out, I think.
Glassgate 2024 or 23.
Oh, that'd be All In London.
Glassgate 2023. All In where he lost the title to Hook. Then he was not seen again until March of 24 in the New Japan stuff. Made his return to All Elite Wrestling in May, Anarchy in the Arena. More on that later. Jack Perry, Kazuchika Okada, the Bucks versus FTR, Bryan Danielson, and Darby Allin. He won the TNT title in a ladder match. Who had the title before him? Like, who vacated? Oh, a damn Copeland after he jumped off the top of the cage.
Oh, that's right. When he went yeet.
Yeah, he yeeted himself right off the fucking roof. He was part of the losing team inside Blood and Guts on an episode of AEW Dynamite.
Yep.
Where they lost to Team AEW of
And Gus!
Bowens, Darby, Briscoe, Caster, and Swerve. Who gives a shit that he beat fucking Marco Stunt?
Yeah.
Beat Darby Allin in a casket match at All in London 24. Lost a world title match to the American Dragon Bryan Danielson at All Out a week or two later. Had some pretty generic 9-minute title match against Vroom Vroom Andretti. The Wrestle Dream match against Shibata was kind of dog water. He then lost the TNT title to Daniel Garcia at Full Gear. And his last match of 2024 was a tag match where him and Konosuke Takeshita on a New Japan Strong Style Evolve from California defeated Shingo and Yota Tsuji of Los Incredibles de Japón. He has had one match so far in 2025. He lost to Yota Tsuji in Wrestle Dynasty for the Global Heavyweight Championship. So off to a great start, Jack.
Great work,
So
Jack.
He's very fucking generic too.
Yeah.
You suck, you jackass.
I really feel like he needs new entrance music, new gear, something, because this guy,
Just anything.
get him away from the elite.
Tell you what, how about he goes away and you don't bring him back until you come up with something great. So
Yeah, and if that means
thanks
he
for
doesn't come
playing
back,
Jack Perry.
yeah, that means he doesn't come back forever. Then
So be it. I'm willing to take that risk.
with great power come great responsibilities.
Is what it is.
All right. So piggybacking off the worst, let's go to worst matches of the year. Me and you, full ballot. Joe only has one. Got me one selection, which got his first place points. There were four total matches. In this one, Anarchy in the Arena. We talked about it just now when I mentioned Jack Perry. That was your number 3, correct?
Yeah.
It finished in 4th place with the one singular vote.
Okay.
My second place finisher and the number 3 overall. I'm gonna go back to a pay-per-view that was actually. It was a one match. It was a one match card, and I'm okay saying that. It was WWE Bad Blood. It was the Hell in a Cell match between Punk versus McIntyre, but also on that match, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan with Dominic Mysterio hung from a shark cage.
Oh.
Not great, Bob.
That match stunk out loud, and then it was the return of Raquel Rodriguez while Dominic Mysterio is hanging by his foot from the shark cage, and everyone's like, oh my God, is he going to die?
Yeah.
So that all got thrown into a loop. I did have, for a while, I actually had Bayley versus Nia Jax from that show on my list, but I ended up scrapping it off of my list for what I ended up putting in the number 3 spot. So that one there finishes in 3rd in points. In 2nd place in points and getting the silver medal for worst match of the year, we'll go to All In. Mercedes Moné versus Dr. Britt Baker, DM. Oh my God. That match was the drizzling shits.
Fucking cheeks.
I mean, that might actually be disrespectful to Cheeks.
You know what? You're right. I apologize, cheeks.
Because that match was god awful. And to be fair, I can't even blame just one of them for how bad that match was.
No.
That is the pure definition of her style and her style are not going to mesh well.
Yep.
Like if they have another match ever again, I think it'd be too soon.
Yeah, I agree.
And without a shadow of a doubt, the unanimous selection for the worst match of 2024 will go back to WrestleMania night number 1 in frigid Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Uce versus Uce, Jimmy versus Jay.
Here's the deal. I'll say this. As cold as it's fucking been in Pennsylvania this week, I would gladly take the weather from WrestleMania night 1. Fucking, it is so fucking cold this week. Tonight when I took the trash out,
Yep.
literally the first time I've left my house since I got done shoveling snow during the first quarter of the Ravens-Bills game on Sunday night. The wind chill is currently 14 degrees.
Pass.
Yep.
Hard pass. Hard pass.
Dude, the fucking wind chill was like -10 2 days ago.
That doesn't work
warming
for
up,
me,
though.
brother.
By Tuesday, we're supposed to get up to 42.
Oh, you might melt some of that snow that's on the ground.
We should.
And then Poxitani Phil will come back out, and him and Mountjoy
Shoot
Mini
that
will.
motherfucker if he tells me there's going to be more winter. But no, the fucking Jimmy J match was such a bummer.
That match had all the hype in the world.
It felt like it had so much potential, and it was a fucking fart in church, man. It was really a shame. And I feel it let a lot of the gas out of the building. Like, yeah, that was tough. That was tough.
Yeah, and the real issue is where it was placed on the show too.
Yeah.
Like, you put that clunker in the 2 or 3 spot, like, okay, but like, wasn't that like the co-main event?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
I know it was in the back half of the show because it was dark out by the time they came out.
It was the 4th match out of 7. So you started with Rhea Becky, then you had the 6-pack ladder match deal.
Then
you had Ray and Andrade, and defeated Escobar and Dirty Dom, and that's where you had the Eagles players come out.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you had Jimmy J, then you had the 6-woman tag, Sammy Gunt, and the obviously the Bloodline.
Well, I mean, I guess that's probably the best spot for it to be, unless you flip it in the 6-pack ladder match. I mean,
I get why they put it where they did. It should have been better, and it just wasn't. Like, that's the bummer part. It just wasn't.
Yeah, there was no reason for that match to be as bad as it was. I mean, I'm not going to say that there was. I mean, Jimmy Uso may not be the greatest singles wrestler of all time, but like, there was no reason for that match on that stage with that much build,
no,
and everything to be that bad. There have been more matches that have been rushed that have felt more complete than Jimmy versus Jay did on that night in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it was just a bummer.
It was.
I think that's the best way for me to describe it. Is it was a bummer.
Absolutely. All right, show of the year. This is the last. Oh no, there's one other one that Joe didn't get me a ton of nominees on. There was 4 total shows that got nominations. Joe only got me his number 1, so obviously that got the full points from that. In third place, there was a tie. Myself and you both had 2 different shows in the number 3 spot. You had Backlash France.
Mm-hmm.
And I had AEW Revolution, which was the final in-ring match of the legendary Sting.
Okay.
That show in general, I feel like it got overlooked whenever talking about the year that was. And I think it's because Darby Allin decided to yeet himself off of a ladder that was way too high. Through 87 planes of glass. But I thought honestly that show was actually a lot better than what a lot of people thought it was. From top to bottom, I'm trying to bring up the results so I can back up my claim. Ooh, that's way too far back. I'm on Cage Match, so it's going to take me a hot second to scroll.
What show was it?
Revolution. It was the March pay-per-view from Charlotte. Sting and Darby versus the Bucks for the title was the main. I got it right here. Christian versus Daniel Garcia for the TNT title. Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Danielson for the Triple Crown, the Continental, the Strong, and the Ring of Honor World title. Wardlow won the 8-man scramble for the number 1 contendership. Roderick Strong defeated Orange Cassidy to win the international title. Claudio and Mox defeated FTR via rest stoppage. Toni Storm versus Deonna Purrazzo for the women's world title. It had the debut of Will Ospreay as he defeated Konosuke Takeshita.
That's right, yeah.
So that obviously that match was kind of a banger. Then it had Samoa Joe defending the world title in a triple threat against Adam Page and Swerve. And then it had Darby and Sting versus the Bucks for the titles in Sting's last match. So,
yeah, man, solid show.
Yeah, top to bottom, I thought it was actually a pretty decent show. You had Backlash France, which had the really fun Randy Orton, Kevin Owens tag match.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one. I will always remember the Backlash France crowd for the greatest entrance of all time, and also may or may not have given me a seizure of Jey Uso.
Dude, that crowd was all the way live, man. Yeah,
all the way.
Bloodline, the Bloodline tag match. You had triple threat: Bayley, Naomi, and Tiffy Time. Priest, Jey Uso. Bianca and Jay defeated Kabuki Warriors, and then of course Cody, AJ Styles, in a fantastic match.
Mm-hmm.
But man, the crowd, the intros, like the fucking camera shaking because of the fucking crowd. Like,
yeah,
it was just, like that show, that crowd made that show so good.
Correct, absolutely. Number 2 finished with 4 total points. AEW All In. That one's kind of self-explanatory. That was a top to bottom great show. It also had, for me, it had the return of Nigel McGuinness to an in-ring, even though it was a small one, but he had an in-ring return in that. And then, of course, the unanimous selection for the show of the year is WrestleMania 40 or 50.
Yeah, that's
whatever year it was. 2 nights, froze my nuts off.
Yep.
Got to see The Rock wrestle.
Yep.
Got to see Cody versus Roman. Got to watch Cody finish his story. Joe's here. Say hi, Joe.
For us, that was like fourth in a lifetime, getting to see The Rock wrestle.
It was. Joe's here, so real quick, I'll recap what he's missed. We went over.
Do you remember the WrestleMania where he came out with a fucking like flamethrower?
Yeah, that was WrestleMania Dallas, I think. He beat
Eric Rowan in like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Yep.
It was a fucking thing we sat through.
It was. We had the worst wrestler of the year, Jack Perry. Chris Jericho finished.
I respect that.
Chris Jericho finished second, Ridge Holland third, Giovanni Vinci fourth. We had the worst match of the year, which was Jimmy versus Jay. Second place was Mercedes Moné versus Britt Baker from All In. Third place, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan from Bad Blood. And fourth was Anarchy in the Arena from Double or Nothing.
Fair.
And then show of the year, we had a tie for third place between AEW Revolution and Backlash France. Second was AEW All In, and of course, first was WrestleMania.
Yeah, I have to admit, I have the hiccups. I'm sorry. I have to admit, as I sat down trying to fill this ballot out, I realized I couldn't remember a single wrestling show other than WrestleMania 40 that like I had watched in any capacity. So I'm going to take more notes this year is what I'm going to do.
I feel like it's a great idea.
I mean,
all right.
I will also factually say I've watched more wrestling in 2025, 1 month in, than I did probably all of 2024. So,
I mean, also probably not true. Probably very factual.
Netflix and Max the one to watch. Like it's a lot easier to access now.
I might just create a new category of worst catchphrases in wrestling just so it could be Max the one to watch next year, just so that Joe has a reason to say it. All right. Storyline of the year. This one, Joe got me 2 nominees. So we're Steiner mathing. We're at 66.6%. So
there you go, Joe.
This one had
I did something.
This one had 5 total nominees. In 5th place with 2 points was the debut of the Wyatt 6. In 4th place, there was this is a 3-way tie for second with 3 points each. It was the Bloodline 2.0 versus the OG Bloodline.
Okay.
It was Kevin Owens hates his friends that forgive Roman Reigns.
Okay.
And the other one was Farewell American Dragon.
Okay.
And the 2024 storyline of the year, Cody finishes his story.
That was easy.
Yeah, that one got mine and yours first place votes. Joe did not have it on his ballot. That's the one that did not make his ballot.
Oh, okay. That story kind of ended really early in the year for me.
I mean, it did.
I think all of these actually ended relatively early or started relatively late.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the bloodline storyline had been going on a while.
I mean, they kind of left each other alone until Roman came back. They took Jimmy out. They left Jay alone. And then Kevin Owens hating on his friends for teaming up with.
That was recent.
That was recent. American Dragon was really. We knew the time was coming, but we didn't know that he was going to get murdered with a plastic bag on the way out. So, I mean, the Wyatt Six was a moment, and then it was like, okay, they're gonna have a couple of feuds, and then be used sparingly. It was what it feels like.
Yeah, what's funny with them is I almost don't even feel like that was a story as much as that was just like a cool moment. It's giving Nexus.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I felt it was important for them to be on the list, and that was kind of the only spot for me to get them on there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and it was kind of a story though, because man, it started with the little QR codes and the little, hidden messages and this and that and the other thing, and then it was like the videotape in an envelope, you playing like the hidden message videos, and so like there actually was a lot of different stuff leading up to it, kind of playing off the White Rabbit, Bray Wyatt White Rabbit stuff. Yeah, and then when they actually debuted, and to me that debut that still was executed to perfection. I'm still not 100% sure WWE knows what to do with them, which I'm glad they aren't just throwing them out there every week without knowing what to do with them.
I agree with that assessment.
I think moving them to SmackDown, I think I heard that this week or last week, is a thing. So maybe that'll refresh them a little bit.
Hopefully. Next up, promotion of the year. 4 total nominees for this. In 4th place was Game Changer Wrestling. It got my 3rd place vote. I mean, I would say it's the little indie that could.
Sure.
Shout out to them. In 2nd place with 2 total points, All Elite Wrestling was Jim's number 2. I didn't have it on my list at all, and Joe only got me his number 1, which was WWE.
Correct.
Number 2 with 4 total points, Total Nonstop Action. And obviously number 1 unanimous decision, World Wrestling Entertainment.
That was easy.
See, for me, if I'm being honest, I didn't want to vote for any companies that I haven't watched personally. So I didn't want to vote for GCW or any other real indie. New Japan I haven't really watched. Like, none of those were going to get in for me. I now regret not putting TNA at my number 2 because I feel like maybe that deserved it. And I did we watched Slammiversary together or Bound for Glory or some show.
One or both of them.
Yeah, exactly. So and TNA, I've actually liked what they've been doing and stuff. So I regret not putting them at number 2. I couldn't put AEW on my list. I've talked way too much shit about AEW in the past year. This time next year, I might be able to put AEW on my list because I do a little bit more like what's going on right now. But I couldn't, in good conscience, put 2024 AEW on a short list of a best.
That's fair.
Makes sense. Feud of the year. 4 nominees here. In 4th place with 1 total point, Bloodline versus Bloodline. In 3rd place with 4 total points, Swerve Strickland versus Adam Hangman Page. In 2nd with 6 total points, The Glamour, Mariah May versus Timeless Tony Storm. And your 2024 Feud of the Year, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. Punk Drew was great. And the thing that made that so wild is Punk didn't wrestle for most of the year.
At least the front half of it.
Yeah, like because he didn't come back wrestling until SummerSlam. Was it?
If it wasn't Summerfest, it was slightly before Summerfest.
Yeah, like because he was out. He tore.
No, I think SummerSlam is correct. I think you're right.
Yeah, because
I
he
was gonna say
wrestled.
maybe a Monday Night Raw before or something. I don't know. Let me look.
No, because the very first Raw that he'd wrestled on in like 10 years was the Netflix debut.
So no, we are both wrong. He had a match. Oh, it was Summerfest. It was Seth was the referee.
That's right.
Correct. 2024 Summerfest. Then he had the strap match at Bash at Berlin. Then they had the Hell in the Cell at Bad Blood.
Which, if you just think about how like the crazy part of the last 14 months, Punk returns at Survivor Series.
Yep.
His first, I mean, he wrestles some house shows, and then his first televised match is the Royal Rumble, the show that he left a decade
Correct.
before.
Yep.
Tears his fucking bicep. And then he's, he does the commentary, the middle finger deal or whatever at WrestleMania. Comes back, he wrestles, and like everybody's like, "Oh, please, dear God, don't get hurt again." At Summerfest, and then he goes on a fucking tear of like, let's see what violent match we can put Phil from Chicago through. And every single time, I'm just like, "Oh, please don't get hurt. Please don't get hurt."
Well,
Okay.
the funny thing is looking at it. So he had the 2 matches against Dom Mysterio in December.
Mm-hmm.
The Rumble comes back, has the special guest referee match.
Mm-hmm.
Strap match at the end of August.
Yep.
October 5th had the Hell in the Cell.
Yes.
His next match was November 30th, which was War Games.
War Games.
Then he has two singles matches against
War Games! War Games!
2 house show matches against Ludwig Kaiser, a house show tag match where he teams with Rey Mysterio to take on the New Day. He takes on Gunther in a steel cage match in Chicago on a house show, and then has the match with Seth on Netflix.
It's fucking unreal, man.
So like, car crash,
Couple
car
of house
crash.
shows, car crash.
hang out, car crash.
It's fucking wild. But like, I'm not even like as scared anymore because I feel
No,
like
and his next match is probably the Rumble, right? I doubt he has a match before then.
Yeah, I'd say Rumble. I'd say probably Elimination Chamber. Unless he wins the Rumble, which I don't think he is.
No, I think we could talk about that towards the end of the show because I still think that's.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have the Rumble preview next week.
Oh, it is next week. I thought it was still 2 weeks away.
No, it's next Saturday. Right?
Not ready for that at all.
No.
So here we go. 2025. Let's have a year. So yeah, that CM Punk Drew McIntyre, the entire feud, all of it from top to bottom. The commentary stuff where that's helped Damian Priest cash in, to the back and forth on the microphones, to stealing the bracelet of Larry and AJ.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of it was perfect. I mean, if you're gonna not be able to use somebody for 7-ish months, I don't think you could get better than what you got from Phil in that time frame.
I'm just thankful that we got that feud in the good Lord's year of 2024 and not in 1999 booked by Vince Russo, because I'm just saying CM Punk would have ended up eating Larry the dog.
AJ would have been married to Drew
wrong.
McIntyre in a weird Las Vegas.
Yes. It'd have been like we went around a table and in Scottish tradition, we're now married.
And like a weird drug rapey vibe.
Yes, I agree. See?
Right? Like, go back and watch that and see how poorly that ages.
No, it's not.
Like,
it's so bad.
And Rhea Ripley's name would just be Australia, but spelled with like 4 Y's.
He's not wrong. He called the fucking wall Berlin for a while. Jesus. Or was that Alex Wright that he called Berlin?
It was Alex Wright.
I think it was Alex Wright. Fuck me.
Why don't we just call him Relic?
And then the fucking Oklahoma.
Oh, God, that's so bad.
Oh, brutal.
It's so bad.
Brutal.
All right, Faction of the Year. 5 nominees for this one. We're back to 33.3% coming from Joe Lopez here.
Yo, real talk. I could not think of a single damn faction that I thought killed it in 2024.
I'm aware because your number one was the Death Riders.
They were the only ones I liked in any capacity.
All they're good for is murder.
Okay, I'm curious for your guys' nominees because I couldn't justify a single other nominee.
Number 4, there was a tie between the System, which was Impact Wrestling / TNA's of Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, the former Fandango, and Moose. I had them at number 3. Jim's number 3 was the Wyatt Six. Both of us had the same at number 1 and number 2. Number 2, we both had the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And for someone who had, let me verify this for my records. That storyline of the year was Bloodline versus OG Bloodline, and you can't remember a faction called the Bloodline.
No, okay. I know that the Bloodline existed, but I'm just saying, how great a faction was the Bloodline in 2024?
I mean, the Tongans won the tag title.
Monotone Solo, the fucking Weekend over there with his outfits. Between him and Jacob, they didn't do enough for me to be like, oh, that was a great faction. This wasn't name 3 factions. This was name 3 factions that you thought were good.
What did the Death Riders do?
John Moxley won the world title and never allowed us to look at it again.
And the Tongans won the tag titles.
Yeah, but they let us look at them. It's different.
No, actually, the tag titles they had were the good-looking tag titles. They weren't the fucking shit ones that look like pennies. Nobody wants to look at the AEW title. Let's be very transparent about that.
Yeah, but then they lost the tag belts to fucking 89-year-old Chris Sabin and 145-year-old Alex Shelley. How impressed am I supposed to be?
I'm supposed to be intimidated of 4'4" Marina Shafir. Pass.
You would love it if she tossed you around.
I'm supposed to be.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
I'm supposed to be intimidated by a guy whose name is Wheeler. Pass.
If Maria Shafir picked you up and suplexed you, you'd sploosh.
No, I'd probably fucking have my shoulder dislocated. Let's be real.
I feel like there's a lot of things that would happen to my body.
Yeah,
if I got fucking yoked.
Sploosh is one of them
by Marina Shafir, and splooge is not one of them.
No, not at all.
Like things will break, things will separate, things will rupture.
Yeah, I don't need that ACL anymore.
Splooge is not anywhere. It is not in the top 5.
She doesn't do it for you?
No, she doesn't. But even still, I mean,
being yeeted is not gonna make me splooge.
No, like Rhea Ripley could yeet me like that.
Girl?
Like Rhea Ripley could yeet me like that, and my body's still gonna break.
Yeah, Ivan Drago. If he dies, he dies.
Yeah, it's not gonna be good.
Yeah, you know what else the Death Riders were good for? Pac's huge ass nose. Goddamn Death Riders. Now, if you want to put them as an early favorite or a candidate for your 2025, we can have a conversation about that.
Like, if you want to put them at 3, I can listen to them at 3. Like the Wyatt Six. I mean, again, they had a really cool debut. They had the lead up to it.
Yeah, that was an amazing debut. It was
like their first match. I actually thought was really good, and then it's just kind of there. So they couldn't be higher than 3 on my list. But
I don't know. I feel like every stable that existed in WWE in 2025 for the most part was all kind of mid. Like they were all kind of like, I'm sorry, but the Wyatt Six is just as interchangeable with, what are they called? Karrion Kross and
the Final
the
Testament.
fucking Authors of Pain. What are they? The Revelation.
The Final Testament.
That guy. So I don't know. I feel like everything's a little equal, and then AEW had fucking shit. I like the Death Riders. I don't know.
Okay, but what is it about the Death Riders? Sell me on it. Besides attempted murder,
John Moxley's the world champion, and Claudio's really tall, and that Wheeler Yuta guy is there.
Fuck him.
And and Roderick Strong's husband is there, and I don't know. It's good.
I'm gonna revert back to, I believe it was the November 17th episode where you're like, nope, don't care about them. They're gonna be the next faction that AEW doesn't give a fuck about in the next 3 months. I'm gonna use your own defense here because that's kind of what they've done. They're getting beaten up by a damn Copaland, the Rock and Roll Express, and FTR. I mean, am I really worried about faction of the year when the only good thing that Pac's got going on right now is the fact that he's only there every other month because he's got to go back to England because of fucking visa issues? Pass.
Wait, okay. Can I pivot slightly, but it's still about a faction?
Sure.
How do you guys feel about the House of Black continuing without Aleister Black?
I mean, they can come up with a new name.
I mean, they can still just be the House of Black. I mean,
I think they're calling them like the something dogs now or something.
Yeah, that's what we need.
The Hounds of Hell, I think it was.
More dogs. The Hounds of Justice. Let's call them the Shield while we're at it. Fucking Jesus Christ.
That'll be next year's. That'll be a stable next year's thing.
No, it won't. Not on mine. Pass.
It will be when they're the only ones that I remember.
That's fine. The fact that you're going to remember something from January, I'll bet my wallet that you won't. All right, Tag Team of the Year. There was 5 nominees for the Tag Team of the Year. In 5th place, it was the Awesome Truth.
Huh?
Jim's 3rd place. They won the tag titles at WrestleMania.
They did,
dude, and they had a fun little run with them
until Miz turned on them.
Yeah, which I mean, come on, that was bound to happen.
It's so goddamn rude.
But give me more R-Truth like on a featured role on TV, please.
Hell yeah.
I agree. In 2nd place, they were the Impact Wrestling Tag Champions for a little while. Then they won the TNA titles, and then they won the SmackDown Tag titles. Joe made fun of the Tongans for losing to 2 guys over the age of 97. It's the Motor City Machine Guns.
I love them, mind you. I really do.
In 3rd place was Twinkle Toes and McFingerbang, the Bucks of Youth. In 2nd place, tied for 2nd place with the Young Bucks, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, DIY. They won the tag titles twice in 2024, but they were unable to eclipse the Tag Team of the Year with 5 total points, Firaxium.
Oh shit, I kind of forgot about them.
I had them at number 1. Joe had them at number 2. I'm pretty sure they were the NXT Tag Team Champions for a big chunk of 2024. I know not all of it because I know they dropped the titles to Chase U for like 2 weeks or something. But yeah, they were the tag champions for quite a while.
All right, here's my question. Today, January 23rd, right? As of today, what tag team do you hope makes your top 3 by the end of the year?
The Death Riders. Sorry. I mean, that I hope make my list by the end of the year. I think that's a really open-ended question because I think with this whole new TNA NXT thing, if the Hardys are still doing things, I think if they have some fun with the titles in TNA, I think they could be on the docket. I mean, give me
I hope the Creed brothers, man.
Yeah,
those guys are real fucking good. So I hope they can get some run.
I would like to see the New Day. I want to see the New Day get a hell of a heel run this year. Maybe win the tag belts.
That would be cool.
That would be awesome. If you're gonna do it, go all in. And so far, they really are. I love it so far.
I hope they win the titles after E fucking kicks both of their asses at WrestleMania. But that's neither here nor there.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, low key.
He doesn't wrestle anymore.
He might come out of retirement. You don't know. I'm just thinking from a perspective of the major companies. I would love to see over in All Elite Wrestling, I would have said the Acclaimed, but they're not a team anymore.
Yo, that sucks. I'm so sad.
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly, they don't have a lot going on with these two guys. They put them back together now as part of the Undisputed Kingdom. Give me the Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Let them have some tag title run. The Hurt Syndicate now with Bobby and Shelton being the tag champs.
Hell
I think they could be a dark horse to be on that, depending on how long they hold the titles for. I think that's the key here is the pieces that are floating around, because the Bucks are inevitably going to make a return, but I don't necessarily know that they're going to go right into the.
Oh fuck, Mike! Martin Faravari just took a fucking slapper off his fucking face.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, he caught a bleeder big time.
Ow!
Eh.
Yep, my face hurts now.
Oh, got fucking deflected right off the stick, and it just
No,
came up and yeeted him. I don't know if it's his eye. I don't know if it's his nose. It probably broke his nose.
No, I was going to say that nose is gone.
For as much blood as came out that quick, it was a.
All right, so Women's Wrestler of the Year. There was 6 total nominees for this. There was a 3-way tie for 4th place. All of our 3rd place finishers: Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, and Athena.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah.
I had Athena
The
in there.
ROH Women's Champion for like 1,000 years.
Yep, 1,000 years. Vanessa Carlton.
She's had that belt for so long. She defended it against Sarah Del Rey, like back in 2009.
And yet she still can't even get on
2009.
on AEW in 2009. She still can't get on AEW TV yet either.
Nope.
I don't want it. We had a unanimous. We have Joe's actual Women Wrestler of the Year finished in 3rd place. Timeless Toni Storm.
Oh damn.
A unanimous selection by all 3 of us for the 2nd place finisher, Lil Liv Morgan. And the 2024 Women's Wrestler of the Year is actually tied with Liv Morgan. It's the Glamour, Mariah May. So that's our only tie on the entire docket is Women's Wrestler of the Year. Liv Morgan and Mariah May will be the co-Women's Wrestlers of the Year. Obviously, I have Athena at 3, 17,407 day reign and counting. I felt like Liv Morgan's 2024.
It was banging.
So was her in those mini shorts that one episode of Raw.
Praise be.
Whew. Got hot.
Wait, what were we talking about?
Yeah, I'm so lost now.
I actually have no idea.
You're welcome. It's women. Of course you know. And then Mariah May, I mean, wins the Owen Hart Classic. I'm not going to call it what they call it because that's a really long, convoluted name. Wins the title from Tony, has a great feud with her. I felt like there was a small chance that I almost flipped her and Liv just because the end of Mariah's year didn't feel as strong because a lot of it was on Collision.
Yeah, valid.
They didn't know what to do after the Tony feud. Like
it really just like stopped.
Yeah, it's just like this was great. I don't mind that Tony Storm went away, but they had no afterthought.
None.
No.
Because they don't. It's because besides, I mean, and again, it was a great feud. It was my number 2 feud of the year. But once you got outside of that, AEW still doesn't book their women well.
No.
I gotta say, my early front runner for 2025 Woman of the Year, whoever that Holly girl is that keeps popping up on Dynamite. What's her name?
Oh, Harley Cameron.
Is that her name? She's hysterical.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched AEW at all, but I'm a big fan of hers.
Honestly, like look up her segments. Like take 3 minutes
just
of
look
your
her
life
up, okay.
and just watch her segments from the last 2 weeks. They were actually hilarious. Like she's killing. If she can wrestle, like it's over. Like nobody can beat her at that point because like her character work is amazing. It's Tony Storm level, honestly.
So, since defeating Tony Storm at All In, Mariah May has wrestled 13 matches. Let's see. Nyla Rose,
Okay.
a eliminator match against Queen Aminata. She lost a tag match where she teamed with Serena Deeb to lose to Queen Aminata and Yuka Sasaki via disqualification. Won a world title eliminator against Lady Frost. Defeated Yuka Sasaki for the title. Defeated Willow Nightingale at Wrestle Dream. Lost to Anna Jay at Battle of the Belts in an eliminator match. Then defeated Anna Jay on an episode of Collision. Then defeated Anna Jay again in a no disqualification match where now Anna Jay cannot fight for the women's title while Mariah May is champion. Her and Mina Shirakawa defeated Harley Cameron and Nyla Rose, Joe's favorite wrestler of the week. She then defeated Mina Shirakawa at Winter is Coming, defeated Thunder Rosa at World's End in a Tijuana street fight. And then she's had a match that is she defeated Harley Cameron, Joe's favorite wrestler, on an episode of Collision. So, not a lot for the women's champion post All In. And it's like they're not even really doing anything with the other women's title there because Mercedes Moné has wrestled like 4 matches total.
She should have been on the worst wrestlers of the year list.
Who, Mercedes?
Yeah, I should have nominated her over there.
Honestly, there was some real talk in my head about it, but we talked about how bad of a year Jack Perry had. Chris Jericho.
Yeah, no, it's valid.
And fuck Rich Holland.
I had Giovanni Vinci as 3. Like I felt like they split him from Imperium. Oh, yeah. It felt like it was going to be a thing, and they just didn't. He's out there losing like 6-second match.
Yeah, no, it was bad. I would say one woman who I considered for my top 3. She was definitely like a solid number 4, and I feel like she at least deserves an honorable mention because she had the best year I think she's ever had in her career, and it feels like that's not saying a lot because a lot of her career has not been great. But that actually says even more to me because she had actually a really good year last year. It's Nia Jax.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a strong candidate for mine, honestly. She came back. she looks great.
Yep.
You can tell like she has put in the effort on all fronts.
Mm-hmm.
Like her promos better, her in-ring work better. Like she actually seems to care. Like there was points of her like initial run where I'm like, she just looks like she doesn't care, but Vince keeps putting her out there because she, like, and I mean this as nicely as possible. She's the women's Andre the Giant. Like,
isn't she also in the family?
She's like loosely, like she's not actually Samoan.
Oh, is she related to The Rock on the other side?
Yeah, I think she's related to Rock on the Rocky Johnson side.
That's why she's not part of like the Bloodline storyline.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Bloodline rules.
And Naomi's not there because it's Bloodline, not Injection Line.
Second cousin once removed from The Rock. Her
well,
father.
Shit, at that point, I think Rock and I are related too. We're like 15th cousins, 18 times removed.
Her father is first cousins with Peter Maivia, the High Chief.
Like I met Tony Atlas that one time at the gym in Lewiston, so I'm pretty sure Rock and I are like 8th cousins.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't think that's how that works.
Totally how that works.
I don't think that's how that works, my guy.
I let him smell my shoe. It's how that works.
Oh God.
Boy.
Not really. He was a very nice guy.
The views in there it is.
The views and comments made by Joe do not reflect Mike Jim or the Take 3 Wrestling Podcasts.
Oh man! Every once in a while, you need to throw that up.
Make sure that, that got out there.
All right, Men's Wrestler of the Year. There are 6 nominees. We have a tie for 5th, 1 point each for the former El Campeón Damian Priest, and my 3rd place, the guy who held the GCW title for what felt like 17 million years, but it's probably because he defended a shit ton of time. Old Mance Warner. In we have a tie for third place. The Ring General Gunther and Joe's Male Wrestler of the Year main event Jey Uso.
Hell yeah.
In second place, mine and Jim's second place finisher, the Aerial Assassin, I think is still his nickname. It's William Cran Ocean Spray.
I'm not mad at that.
And then the men's wrestler of the year, myself and Jim had him at number 1 overall. Adrenaline in my soul, something, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, like it was Cody, and then it's like, where am I putting 2 other people?
Yeah, I kind of penciled Cody in almost right away and was like, okay, where do I go from here?
I wanted to be a little different with my picks. I obviously thought Cody had a great year, but also too, I feel like kind of not as exciting post winning at WrestleMania. So I figured you guys would represent him. So I wanted to get Damian Priest in there because I feel like I've been hard on him, but I actually think he's a bona fide main eventer at this point. And 2025 did a lot of that for him. You know, the work he put in definitely got him there. So I want to kind of give him his flowers in that regard, for sure. I think he was probably the one that surprised me the most when I wrote him down, typed him down. I don't know. Shine down.
Yeah. I mean, I think both of them, both Gunther and Priest, had memorable years, but Priest after the cash in just kind of felt very like, okay, well, where do we go from here? And I think it was supposed to, like, if it was gonna lead to him versus Finn earlier with like the title on the line, I think I would have looked up and been like, okay, cool. But it just kind of led to just none of that actually happening, and it was just like, oh, here's Gunther who's just gonna swoop in after being Intercontinental Champion for 700 days and win the world title now.
666.
I'm gonna round up.
But it's more fun to say 666.
Pass. One of us is actually going to get on a plane and go to Vegas this year, and I'd like to not piss off as much spirits as I can on the way out there. So 700 days. All right, match of the year, and then we'll finish the bracket for the wrestler of the year. This one had 5 total matches receive votes. First up was my third place finisher, Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay from AEW Dynasty.
Okay.
Great match. Love the back and forth. Honestly, I thought Will Ospreay was going to kill Bryan Danielson at one point in that match. Big fan of it. I love watching it. In fourth place, there was a tie, Mariah May versus Toni Storm from All Out. And then it was Bloodline Rules. WrestleMania Night 1, The Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth. Then we have in second place, it was Hell in the Cell at Bad Blood between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. And last but certainly not least, the match of the year, getting 2 out of 3 first place votes and a second place vote. WrestleMania Night number 2, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. Cody finishes the story.
Yeah, that was cinema.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I like, as I've said many a time, like, WrestleMania was always going to be a large number 1 on my lists from last year, and that the way Cody Roman played out on night 2, I mean, that was the WWEing at its finest. Like it was perfect. It was perfect. I've rewatched that match. Like, I've watched the show a couple times, but I've rewatched that match 8-9 times, and it's so good.
Yeah, I was the one who had it at number 2. I had Punk versus Drew as my match of the year.
I'm not mad at that. That was also a work of art.
I was going to say that's probably the best Hell in the Cell match that they've put on in, oh boy, years. Because there have been some real clunkers inside the cell. looking at you, Seth Rollins versus The Fiend.
Rollins and Cody had a great one.
No, but that I think also was played into how Cody's arm looked like it was 3 different colors of purple.
Oh, for sure. It looked like an eggplant.
So I think like if Cody comes into that one fully healthy, I think they have a little bit different of a match. I think like the injury made the target like easy to what Seth's going to work on and things like that. But this one, like those guys went out there and like, here's a toolbox, here's a fucking hammer, like hit me in the fucking head with it. Like real blood, real fun. Those guys kick the shit out of each other. I don't have a problem with Cody versus The Rock Cody versus Roman being the number 1 match of the year on both your guys' list. I really felt like it was 1A, 1B to me. I'm going to take a line out of Ernest E.J. Christian's book. So yeah, I don't think I have an issue with any of those. I guess let me ask Joe this because Joe has the tag match from night 1. What was the reasoning behind that?
I just thought that was a pretty awesome match also. Like I've rewatched that one at home and it really like just drew me in, caught my attention. Like if night 2's main event, if Cody Roman was Avengers Endgame, night 1 was not quite Avengers. Yeah, it felt like an Avengers. Like it felt like maybe it was the one before that. You know what I mean? Like it felt like the stakes were high. It felt like something special. Something that you're not going to see just randomly on a Monday night or randomly on a Friday night. Something that is unique for that moment and that level of importance. Like you felt it. You felt it in the moment,
No, yeah, absolutely. I was just wondering if there was resound reasoning. Obviously, you don't have any AEW on your list, so obviously I don't expect you to have anything in the match of the year candidate, but I was just wondering if there was a reason why that maybe was over, another match that happened on Monday Night Raw or on a different pay-per-view, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, like I said, I think I need to take better notes over the year, but like just sitting down and trying to think of stuff, that's the stuff that came to my mind, like I knew Punk and Drew was going to be on there also because that was extremely memorable as a match,
Like I almost part of me wanted to put like if it would have been a top 5 nominees, the main event of night 1 probably would have been on mine.
Let me put it like this, right? And I think I just birthed a game by accident. We're gonna have to totally try this like next week, okay? If you said to me, guess the matches that took place on this show, and you named almost any show that took place in 2025, I might struggle to name even one match from most shows. Like, obviously, Royal Rumble is one thing, Survivor Series is one thing, but a lot of other stuff. And Survivor Series, I came very close to the Bloodline War Games match being on my list. That was the right under because that was a great match.
I feel like if everybody didn't get hurt in that match, I feel like you'd have a better.
Yeah, valid. Like if this was a top 5 or a top 10, that might have been on there.
Well, we're never doing a top 10 because I can't get you to get me 3. But if you guys want to expand to 5 for 2025, I'm okay with.
Let's check in June and see if I've been keeping notes, and then if I have.
So Joe, because I assume you, like me, always have your phone on you.
Always.
One thing I always do every year, and I started my new one this year, is in my notes.
Yeah.
Top 5 matches 2025. So if I watch a match that I love, that just was absolutely a match that I love, I put it in there right away.
Yeah, no, I think that's what I'm going to start to do too. That and shows and stuff. Because like I said, look, and like I said, I think this could be a fun game because you could literally just take any show.
Spoiler
You could
alert,
be like
Punk Rollins from Raw on Netflix debut.
Yeah, no, that and the Penta Chad Gable match even I think was solid stuff. Yeah. But like I say, like I think you can make a game out of this because you could really be like, name the matches on Backlash 2012. You know what I mean? And like how many can you actually get right? So I'm just saying, for me,
Probably 0.
you don't think you can get any? Was there no Backlash in
From
2012?
2012? Jim, are you looking it up right now?
No. What you said, Backlash 2012?
Yeah. I mean, if you're telling me John Cena versus Randy Orton's on the show, maybe, but like,
That's a guess. That's a guess you can make.
I'm really supposed to remember that, like,
There literally wasn't a Backlash in 2012.
Got him.
Damn.
Get wrecked, nerd.
Let's do the closest one to it. Backlash 2016.
Ew.
So what's the game? You guys have to name a match, and I'll tell you if it was
Sure,
on.
let's go back and forth.
John Cena versus Randy Orton.
No.
See, 2016. Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz.
Yes.
Really?
Reigning Intercontinental Champion Mike The Miz Mizanin with Maurice defeated Dolph Ziggler by pinfall to retain the Intercontinental title. 18 minutes,
They had that great feud on SmackDown around that year. That's the
18
only
minutes
reason I
and 22
guessed that.
seconds.
This guy remembers random matches from 2016. Can't get me a list with a fucking promotion of the year on it.
That's fucking absurd.
I don't know how I did that.
You just...
I'm like Rain Man for wrestling.
I feel like that was offensive. You know what? I just
Dustin Hoffman.
I say just to be
Just in case.
Just to be safe. I'm just gonna put up the disclaimer again, just so our viewers know.
Man, was there a tag? Okay, I gotta ask a question. Was there a tag title match on this show?
There was actually 2. There was a qualifying match for the final, and then there was a tag team tournament final match for the inaugural SmackDown Tag Champions. Oops, I put the wrong graphic up.
That really feels like it's like FTR versus American Alpha.
No,
because I think the first SmackDown Tag Champions were Heath Ledger and Rhino.
Who?
Heath Ledger?
The Joker?
Heath Slater.
The Joker?
Slater.
So hypothetically, Joe, who did they beat?
Heath Slater and Rhino. Oh shit! It was the end of a tournament. Fuck.
I don't know what the tag team name is. Fuck, but all right.
Were they Latino?
I can't. I'm not going to give any clues.
The Colons.
No, it was Heath Slater and Rhino. They defeated the Usos.
Oh shit!
Was that in the finals or was that in the?
That was in the finals. The Usos defeated the Hype Bros in the qualifier.
Goddamn Hype Bros. Fuck.
Yeah, yep.
Fucking Hype Bros. Fucking Mojo Rawley.
All right, so I got to figure out the world title here. I got to figure this out in my head.
Mm-hmm.
This is Brock Lesnar territory if I've ever fucking seen it. Or it's Roman Reigns. It's one of the two.
2016 could have been AJ Styles. Was this the show that had Styles, Ambrose, and like someone else in a 3-way?
Not a 3-way, but AJ Styles defeated WWE World Champion Dean Ambrose in the main event.
Yeah.
He really is. It's fucking uncanny.
He can remember shit from 2016, but can't get anybody a list of something that happened this year.
I fucked hard with SmackDown in 2016.
What the fuck are we doing? Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns all over again?
Yeah, I guess this was a SmackDown.
Yeah, you picked a fucking SmackDown exclusive show.
I didn't even pick this one. I said 2012.
Yeah, real shocking, bud.
Wow.
Orlando Jordan versus JBL. SmackDown 2005.
It doesn't sound like a bad show. So you had Corbin Cruz in the dark match. You had Becky Lynch defeated Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Naomi, Natalia, and Nikki Bella. 6-pack elimination challenge for the inaugural SmackDown Women's title.
Would.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast.
Splooge for you.
There you go. This guy gets it. Tag team title match qualified for the tag team tournament final. That was, of course, the Usos versus the Hype Bros. You had the Miz defeating Dolph Ziggler to retain the Intercontinental title. Bray Wyatt defeated Randy Orton.
God damn it. I knew
I
there was a Bray match on here.
10 seconds. Kane defeated Bray Wyatt by pinfall in a no holds barred match. And Heath Slater and Rhino defeated the Usos for the SmackDown tag team titles, and then AJ Styles defeated Dean Ambrose to win the World Championship.
Yuck.
Sounds like a fun little show.
I kind of want to watch that. I'm not even gonna lie.
In the Richmond Coliseum,
Richmond, Virginia.
Were there rich men at the show in Richmond?
Probably.
All right, so let's get to the tournament to end the Wrestler of the Year, because that's going to take a little bit of time. All right, the number 1 seed, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, taking on the 16 seed Liv Morgan.
Ooh.
Wait, say that again?
Cody versus Liv.
Okay.
It's your two Jihad Gaga champions.
It's got to be Cody. Liv had a hell of a year, but the answer's Cody. He won the title of titles at my first WrestleMania. Sorry, Liv. I love you. Keep wearing those jorts.
I'm going to give Liv a vote just because I'm sure you're going to vote for Cody, Mike.
Adrenaline in my soul. Something, Cody Rhodes.
It's the right answer, but...
Yeah, the 8 seed Gunther versus the 9 seed Will Ospreay.
Ooh.
Damn.
I mean...
That one hurts.
You don't have a champion for 700 days to then win the World Heavyweight Championship, to get beat by a guy whose only title in his company was winning the fake international title that MJF renamed the U.S. title for him to beat him to go back to being the international title at all in London. I'm taking Goons.
Joe?
The thing is, when I look at Will Ospreay, he's so much bigger of a star than almost anyone else that AEW has been able to present. And it's like that level of stardom is so impressive to me. I love Gunther. I mean, he made my best wrestler of the year nominees, you know? But I think I'm going to give my vote to Will.
For me, it's yeah, you made the Intercontinental title mean something, and then you won your first world title. Will Ospreay was already a star. Gunther really became a star in 2024. So the answer is Gunther for me.
All right, lower half of that side of the bracket, it's the 4 seed Jordan Grace, the 20 seed Stern.
I'll get it out of the way. I'm going to go Jordan Grace. Royal Rumble appearance, knockout champion, basically cemented herself as a future WWE superstar. Sting, you wrapped up a great career, but you wrapped up a great career in February. March. It was a great match, but you really, and then it was done. Like Jordan Grace had the better year. Sting had a better moment.
Joseph?
I'm voting for who looks better in makeup.
I can't. I don't know what that
Sting.
answer is.
It's Sting.
Okay.
All right. Well, the Sting run ends. It's Jordan Grace. At some point, you have to put what they did over the full calendar year into the equation. Jordan put that Impact Women's Division on her back, helped build that thing back up, and then decided to put over Tessa Blanchard on the way out like a true professional. Yeah, it's real easy. Without her, I don't know that Impact Women's Division is any good. So shout out to Jordan Grace. All right, in that bottom part of that bracket, the 12 seed Trick Williams, the 5 seed Obafemi.
Damn.
Big
Trick.
meaty men slapping meat.
Trick. Whoop that.
I'm going to make it harder on you, Jim. I'm taking Obafemi. North American champion for a bulk of the year. Really made that title the question of who was ever going to take the title off of him. Made him that big of a star, to the fact that he ended the 2024 year by winning the Iron Survivor Challenge that set him up for a world title match against Trick Williams at New Year's Evil. I'm not even going to bring the fact that he won that into the equation. I'm just going to say it's from the fact of he had the
He set
best
himself
match.
up for
He had the best match between the two of them. That triple threat match from Stand and Deliver with him, Briggs, and Dijak. Probably better in ring than anything I can remember from Trick Williams. That's not taking anything away from Trick, because Trick had a great year, but Trick also had to share the ring with Ridge Holland. So, yeah, Oba
Yeah, but he made it out uninjured. So like,
allegedly.
That's true.
Are we sure?
I'm kind of going to use the same reasoning as I did Gunther versus Osprey, because on that level, Trick Williams was already kind of a made man. Obafemi made himself a quote unquote household name in 2024. So I'm going to give the slightest of Adam Copeland's to Obafemi.
All right, right side of the bracket. The 2 seed, the wanted man Nick Nemeth versus the 15 seed Zack Sabre Jr. I'm gonna take Nick Nemeth, even though Zack Sabre Jr. did have a great year. Went over to Impact Wrestling / TNA, won that title, kept that title, has been a big part of what they did throughout the summer. No disrespect to Zack Sabre Jr. First man to ever win the G1 and then cash in the title before Wrestle Kingdom. But I think Nemeth's year top to bottom, I think, is what gives me the slight edge.
For all of those reasons, and also because Nick Nemeth didn't have to carry around that stupid New Japan TV title, I'm going Nick Nemeth.
Makes sense. Joe probably would have taken Sabre.
only because I keep getting the wrong side of all these votes. Yeah.
Makes sense. The Glamour, Mariah May, the 10 seed takes on the 7, Swerve Strickland.
Swerve.
See, I don't think it's that easy.
Fuck.
I really don't think it's that easy. Like, Swerve had some good stuff that he did in 2024. I'm not saying that he didn't.
He was the world champion.
He also then had a syringe shoved in his mouth and got blasted with a chair by a cowboy that looks like Tom Selleck. Mariah May went from being the lackey and the backup of Tony Storm to winning the Owen Hart Foundation Classic, to then turning on Tony, having probably one of, if not the most memorable moment in AEW with the high heel spike to the head, to then having the match that they had it all in. And then I know the back half of her year wasn't that great. We've talked about that. But the back half of Swerve's year wasn't all that great either.
I don't know that I agree with that, though, because he went from world champion to then one of the best feuds of the year with Hangman Page. Like,
Okay,
at least he was still extremely relevant at the top of the card. Like you said, Mariah May, after the Tony Storm stuff, it seemed like they had no direction for her.
I mean, but what was Swerve doing prior to winning? When did he win the title?
He won the title early in the year because he lost it in the summer. He lost it to Bryan at All In.
So he won
All
the
Out?
title.
One of the
He
two.
won the title in
April
at Dynasty.
Yeah. And
April
then
to August, 126 days.
And then pretty much went directly into one of the best feuds of the year with Hangman Page. Like, I love Mariah May, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like Swerve's at a higher level.
To be fair, that feud of the year was one match after he dropped the title, and it was the cage match where he got fucking syringes jammed into his mouth. That was the only match that they had after he dropped the title. The beginning of Hangman and Swerve was leading into him winning the number one contender spot and winning the title. I'm looking at his results now. He won the title at Dynasty. Prior to that, him and Samoa Joe had some matches. He lost to him and Adam Page had a time limit draw for the number one contender that went 60 minutes. That was a draw. Then he won the title at Dynasty, beat Kyle Fletcher, Claudio, Brian Cage, Nick Wayne, Christian Cage. He teamed with Ospreay to beat the Gates of Agony, was in Blood and Guts. Lost the title to Brian, lost the cage match to Page 2.5 weeks later. Was out all of September, most of October, came back and entered this feud with the Hurt Syndicate. I mean, to be fair, I don't have an issue with Swerve getting the vote. I'm going to take Mariah May because if there was a coming out party in 2024, I think that she broke through the glass ceiling.
Man, I think this is one of the hardest ones to pick.
I don't think you're wrong. I really don't. I think this one you can go back and forth on.
Because, like, Mariah May, like, you know, obviously had a tremendous year.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it's easier to become the best woman on the AEW roster.
That I agree with.
Because the pool ain't deep. For Swerve, like I feel like the climb and the payoff and like all of that, like him becoming the AEW World Champion. Because when you look back over like over the rest of the AEW World Champions, Jericho, Mox, Omega, Hangman, Punk, Mox, MJF, Samoa Joe, and then even after Danielson and Mox again, like every other world champ felt like, with the exception of MJF, which it was always going to be MJF. You could have looked at day one of AEW and said MJF is going to be world champ sooner than later.
Mm-hmm.
Every other world champ in that company's history is somebody that everybody already knows from somewhere in the world, whether it's WWE, New Japan. Swerve is the outlier there. For him to actually go and have that and have a 126-day reign and to have it be one of the longer reigns like of the company, like just single reigns, like, you know, it's longer than Samoa Joe's reign. It's longer than Moxley's one reign. It's longer than all of Punk's combined. Like the only people who held the title longer were Jericho by only about a month, Mox and Omega. Like
and MJF held it for 400.
Yeah, and yeah.
He has a top 5 reign out of 13 champions.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give the slight cope to Swerve. Joe finally got my joke.
No, I enjoy that one. I told you I enjoy coping.
Yes.
All right, 3 seed Braun Breaker, 19 seed All Ego Ethan Page.
Braun.
Yeah, Braun.
That one's easy to me. Ego had a fun year, but dude, Braun's
the number 11 seed Tony Gabagoo versus Joe's male wrestler of the year, the 27 seed Jey Uso.
Wait, who?
Tony D'Angelo, Jey Uso.
Yeah, I mean, this is the year Jey Uso became a bona fide single star.
All right, so Jey Uso.
It's closer than I think it actually is. Like at my first reaction in my brain, but
it's a lot closer than people will think about. But I'm not going to sit here and try to argue for Tony D'Angelo if you guys are already slammed dunk on Jey Uso. It's a waste of my time and energy. All right, Elite 8, upper left-hand side of the bracket, Cody Rhodes versus Gunther.
Cody.
Yeah. What were you voting, Mike?
Oh, no, sir. Go ahead, vote.
Joe, do you just want to give your mercy vote to Goot like you did the last time?
No, it's Cody.
All right. Cody in a landslide. Bottom half of that bracket. Who will face Cody Rhodes in the final four? Obafemi or Jordan Grace?
Oh, that's a fun one. Oh man, I'm doing the fucking the weighing the scales here.
You're doing the Kyle Nash stall tactic. I know he's not listening to this show. Shout outs to the game, Kyle.
Jordan Grace. I think it's Jordan Grace. Like Obafemi had a hell of a year, but man, you look at all the stuff like Jordan Grace did, and like not only did she show up in the Royal Rumble, dude, she fucking was a star of that Royal Rumble, knockouts champion. Yeah, it's Jordan Grace. It's close, but it's Jordan Grace for me.
Joseph?
I'll vote for the other guy.
All right, Jordan Grace to the finals for all the things that Jim said. All right, other side of the bracket, it is the 3 seed Nick Nemeth versus Swerve. I think this is closer than anyone will think it is. I think I know where the two of you are going, so I'll give the pity vote to Nick Nemeth.
I mean, Swerve's got my vote, but I don't disagree. I do think this is a lot closer than not.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this slight to Swerve, man. But Nemeth, hell of a fucking year, And I've never been a Dolph Ziggler guy, ever. And
were you a Nikki from the Spirit Squad guy?
No, it's more of a Kenny from.
Me too.
I just love the fact that Nick Nemeth's 2024 includes beating Alberto El Patron for the Mega title, defeating David Finlay for the Global title, and winning the TNA World Heavyweight title at one point.
Yeah, man, he had a fucking year.
Then he lost the AAA Mega title back to fucking dickbag Alberto.
Yeah, that hurts him.
How many different titles has he won from Alberto though? Because isn't that who he beat for the WWE title back in the day?
That's who he cashed in the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
God, that was a great fucking cash in.
Oh well, I was in that
Fantastic.
building that night.
I'm here to show the world.
That was New York, right?
Yeah, it was.
That was the night after
the
29.
night after Mania. Yeah, in New Jersey. I think it was in Newark or something.
The fact that Alberto El Patron, since winning the title back from Nick Nemeth, has defeated Nemeth again, Laredo Kid, Pagano, Cibernetico, Ray Gonzalez, and Octagon Jr. as the AAA Mega Champion. So don't watch AAA because fuck them. That's why.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, dude, the fucking shiner over Fairvari's eye, dude. It's like he's smuggling 2 golf balls in his fucking eyebrow. Holy hell.
Hey
But
guys,
he's back.
what's going on? I'm gonna try to score, even though I can't really use my right
That's
eye.
fucking gnarly. He's not going to be able to see tomorrow.
No, probably not.
That fucker's going to keep swelling.
Final Elite 8 matchup: Braun Breaker, Jey Uso.
Ooh, that's tough.
That's saucy. That's real saucy.
Yeah, this is a fun one.
Fuck.
I'm gonna go Braun Breaker.
I'll go Jey Uso just to get it in.
Man, it's like I'm leaning Braun because he had. Oh, but Jay won the Intercontinental title too. Fuck.
Yeah, Braun Breaker probably held it longer.
He did.
They won it from each other.
He went from being like just a tag team guy to a fucking main event. Fuck.
Braun Breaker, as the Intercontinental Champion, has held the title in 2024 for a total of 146 days.
Here's my thing, okay? Braun Breaker's gonna have other years.
See, I can't use that. I can't use that as a future thing because if that guy goes out there and blows his knee out next, he may never have another year. He literally may not.
That's true. And I mean, they could stay hot on Jey Uso for this year too.
I was going to say, I mean, and the other thing that you got to remember, the beginning half that he had of 2024, where he was tag team champions with Baron Corbin and the Wolf Dogs. That was really fun. He made his debut at the Royal Rumble. They kept the tag titles up until they lost them to Fraxium the Tuesday after WrestleMania weekend. Then he gets his call up. He beat Sami Zayn, who beat Gunther for the IC title at the Summerfest. Lost it to Jay, and then won it back a couple weeks later. I mean, Jey Uso was also in the worst match of 2024.
Jay sells more T-shirts.
The fuck does that have to do with anything?
In the wrestling business, that's got everything to do with everything.
Okay, in our awards season, what does that have to do with anything?
Popularity.
I'm going to the coin flip app.
That's popularity for you because you're the one sitting here pushing. He may never have another good year. He also may have more good years, et cetera, et cetera.
All right, so heads is going to be Jey Uso. Tails is going to be Braun Breaker.
Oh, sick. Novak Djokovic.
Tails, Braun Breaker.
Novak Djokovic withdraws.
That's how I make some of my biggest decisions in life.
I didn't even know that was an app.
Oh, dude, it's the greatest fucking thing ever.
All right, final four. Upper bracket, the number 1 seed Cody Rhodes versus the number 4 seed Jordan Grace.
Cody. just about Cody in the finals. You had a hell of a run, Jordan Grace. You really did.
I mean, made it to the final four.
God bless you. Only 4 people can make it there.
Absolutely. You won your region.
Good job. Congratulations.
Great job, George Mason. Final other side of the bracket.
Basketball team, not a person.
Oh, okay.
Other half final, Swerve Strickland, Braun Breaker.
I'm gonna.
Does it really matter? Because Cody's gonna win.
I'll say I'm gonna go Swerve. I'll stay consistent.
Oh, yay! I'm going Swerve too. Let's get Swerve to the finals. Fuck yeah! I personally am very happy to see an all-black final.
Put it up there.
Yeah.
Put it up there.
Yeah. They're just gonna put the old disclaimer there.
The Swerve Strickland versus Cody Kareem Rhodes.
Every time it just gets worse.
Like I need to like get a recording. Maybe I'll get like an AI recording of like Morgan Freeman reading this.
Oh my god.
That I can just play.
I wouldn't. I would have it on standby.
Yeah, it's this side of the bracket. It's the who's going to lose to Cody Rhodes Invitational. Because
I mean, what I'll say about this, the whole bracket, yeah. I hope 2025 is a lot more competitive. I also hope that Joe gets me more lists so that we can actually have a little bit better of a.
Hey, I'm 3 for 3.
I was gonna say, like, I am actually impressed that we are in the second to last week.
I am too. It's it's Thursday afternoon at noon. I need a top 15 from you, and it's like, who?
Well, yeah, that's fair. But so far, he's been more engaged.
Oh, see, he was great at getting them.
Right.
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
Is Joe the same liability as Mark?
More.
Yes.
More.
Yes. The answer is yes.
I'm taking the over.
I don't know. Mark was going really heavy on talking about the Chinese New Year tonight.
Yeah, he was.
He
really was.
All I did was point out there's a little melanin in Cody Rhodes' soul.
No, that's not what you pointed out at all.
I don't think that's what you said, but
that's definitely not what you said.
But okay.
Whatever you say, Malachi.
Yeah. But yeah, so far we're 1 month in. Joe watches Netflix. Joe watches Max. It's what's on the TV or whatever the fuck.
The one to watch.
Yeah,
Max,
that's the slogan.
Max, who gives a shit about your shitty ass tagline?
I will
I
say
will. I will admit, I have not been keeping up on Collision.
nobody does.
Don't
AEW
worry,
That's
none
like,
of
I
us
don't
have.
feel guilty.
AEW doesn't keep up with Collision. So you're forgiven, Joe.
No, see, I don't keep up with Collision either. You know what I do? I just read PW Insider.
I mean, that helps. They literally post the result. Like you can get the results for like every wrestling show ever on Cage Match. Every
True.
day. But I will say this about that, like, because I flipped on towards the end of Dynamite last night, and like the clarity of the Max feed versus the YouTube TV feed is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like the picture quality on Max is so much better. So
I enjoyed Dynamite this week too. What I saw of it.
I didn't
thought it
watch
was a solid
that.
show.
My wounds from the fucking national title game. I've been.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I've been a sour bitch this week. I'll get over it.
What did I watch from that show? I watched Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay try to climb up a lighting fixture. That went over real well.
I thought that was awesome.
I was rooting for it to actually fall.
Oh my god.
Jeez, that's dark.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna do dumb shit, win dumb prizes. All right, Cody versus Swerve. I guess let's have the formality here. Who is the wrestler of the year?
Cody.
Yeah. But it was a good run for Swerve.
All right, Cody Rhodes.
What's his first name? Is it like Swerveculus?
Or it's Isaiah.
Oh, okay. I thought Swerve was short for like Swervenstein.
Adrenaline in my soul, every thought out of control. Do it all to get them off their feet.
Okay, I have a question.
About to blow, waiting for me to stop the show.
Wait, I have a question.
Gravity.
Whoa, my father said.
All right. Yes, Joe.
We just won.
Okay. So, is Cody Rhodes a poster child for what you can do while living with IBS? Because I noticed in his song he says about his bowels. His bowels are out of control. So, right, like adrenaline in my soul. Bowels are out of control. Like, so is he like it's impressive. You could be world champion while having the shits. That's all I'm saying.
You fucking mark!
I really feel like this segment went to the shits.
Good Lord.
Am
What?
I misinterpreting the lyrics?
Yes, you are.
I mean, this is the same guy whose name, for those of you that are just listening to the podcast, is the Bowen Yang of Pootie Tang. So, I mean,
It's booty tang, sir.
Booty.
I don't want the pooty. I want the booty.
Booty tag.
yeah, we're aware, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Would have
Captain.
never have guessed Anthony Bowens. Whew.
My goodness.
Yeah, that took a fucking turn.
Yep.
Ryan, you want to make a trade? I'm willing to listen to offers. Intern Mark for Joe.
Well, I lose in this trade either way.
No, you got to deal with him either way. It's just
because fuck, I can't get away from him either.
no.
way.
You're fucked either way, bud.
Yeah, I'm screwed.
Yeah, unless you want to try to trade Brian Schottenheimer for one of them.
Right, this became an ad for Amodia.
Ryan, don't worry. Stick around. There will probably be more ads for something that we didn't know we were having ads for.
Lord in heaven. All right.
All right, so fantasy wrestling real quick on the update of that through this week's totals. This week, Jim brought up the rear. He brought in 4 points. I should really shouldn't have said that. That was on me.
Yeah, you kind of teed that one up, bud.
Yep. Joe has somehow slid in the back door with 12.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my.
And your leader this week is yours truly with 17.
There you go.
Weekly
Booty tax.
total through 3 weeks. Jim has 29, Joe has 35, I have 40. Does anybody want to make any roster moves?
No, but after we wrap the show, send me my roster so I can. I just want to keep.
I'll take a screenshot of it and send it to both of you so you guys.
Yeah, I just want to keep a running tab down here on one of my pieces of paper that I can. I should get a little whiteboard.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, leading into Royal Rumble, I feel like there's going to be some roster moves that are made.
Yeah. I need to wake up and make some moves going into Rumble and Mania season.
Mm-hmm. That I would agree with. All right. Does anybody else want to hit anything before we get to wrestlers of the week?
Let's hit it.
All right, Gravity, you're up first.
Oh, you giving me the first one?
Sure, why not?
Oh, I'm gonna take the new AEW Tag Team Champions, the Hurt Syndicate.
There you go.
Jim?
I'll take the new TNA World Champion, I believe, in Joe Hendry.
The real number one pick. She retained her Impact Knockouts champion, Masha Slamovich.
I'm gonna take the winner of this week's Raw main event, Seth Franklin Rollins.
I would have taken Sami Zayn for kicking Seth Franklin Rollins in the face.
Honorable mention to the guy who said he'd throw Hulk Hogan's dusty old ass over the top rope at the Royal Rumble, CM Punk. But my number 2 is the inaugural bell-to-bell Diamond Champion, Gabby Ortiz.
I like it.
What is that?
It's a all-female promotion up here. They run every, I think it's 2 or 3 months, every other month maybe, out of the Monster Factory.
I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I haven't been to a show yet. Matt always takes his daughter. Jesus Christ. Oh.
I was actually going to say honorable mention to Alley Catch. Thoughts and prayers.
Leg bone, Ryan.
I was actually going to honorable mention her.
Is that the person I keep seeing the photos online?
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh.
Yo, you know what? Okay. Anytime we talk about like injuries like that, I always remember I used to have the ECW DVD, like the Pioneer Video ECW release, where it was like a best of. And one of the special features for some god-awful reason was like 10 minutes of people getting injured. And one of the ones I've always remembered was this like 500-pound dude who like was at the top rope and for some god-awful reason came down and his ankle just like it's so I wish I remembered his name. It was like fucking like love tube humpy dump or something. Like it was ridiculous. But like just fucking ankle just went yeet. Like it yeeted.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that you called him
tough break for her. Oops, I did it again, he says.
My number 2 wrestler of the week is the new Game Changer Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. It's Effie.
I love that.
Love Tube Humpy.
Love Tube Humpy Dump.
I really hope that was that guy's name.
I fucking can't even, man. What I almost said like what happens if I Google love tube humpy dump, but I'm not
gonna do it.
I'm not gonna do it.
You might need a VPN.
I'm not gonna do that. Not in this America.
Nope. Pass.
Absolutely not.
Nope. Oh, while we're talking about tough breaks, shout out Steph DeLander, who got a GoFundMe started for Allie, and they made like $50K in like 3 days for her.
Very nice.
Wow.
You know, shouts to good people doing good things for people who need help. You know, shouts to that.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, it's good. That is.
All right, so that's wrestlers of the week. we have one more week before Wrestlers of the Month.
I'm gonna do it.
I got my prayer in, so hopefully we get a.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna do it.
So, all right.
I
I
believe-
tell you what. Send me what there is so far, and I'll start it now.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because
That
I
is
can
fair.
get like a preliminary list going.
Oh, don't worry. Hold on. I'm sending it on the air so that there's no tomfoolery or like, I didn't get the list. Nope, here it is. Nope. Mm-mm.
There it is. It's coming in.
Here you go, Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you're last.
Hey, I hate to alley catches leg it for you, but I promise I'm gonna follow through.
I'm sending this one too, so that it's already done and over with too with the rosters. So that's done. All right. So Joe, is there anything you would like to discuss before we sign off?
No, I'm reading a really good book right now.
Is it called the Joe Movie Podcast?
No, that's the podcast
Drats.
I'm listening to, silly. Check out the Joe Movie Podcast. Joe Movie, all one word. It's on Spotify. At some point we'll do our top 10 movies of the year. The Oscar noms came out today.
Mike, we got some breaking news. 3 minutes, 28 seconds left to go. Empty netter from the other end of the ice. Ovi goal. Have ourselves an Ovechkin goal.
Let's go, baby.
So he is now down to, I believe it's
20?
19 to break.
19 to break it.
Let me double
Let's
check
go 8. Let's go 8.
Hey, I'm going to a hockey game next week.
that.
Who are they playing?
The Kings.
Oh, so you're gonna watch Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli play hockey?
KOW Kings.
Makes sense.
I think it's 19 to tie, 20 to break.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was 19 to tie, 20 to break it, but
Yep.
still, the grade 8 on pace, baby. Let's go. Finish it
Let's-
off, Ovi.
Let's go.
Anything else,
Is he
Joe?
trying to finish his story?
He's trying to finish
Yes,
a
actually,
record that
he is.
that a lot of people never thought would be broken. So
Yeah, that's certainly a way to put it.
he's trying. He's got the adrenaline in his soul. He also may not be able to feel anything from his ankle down on his left foot. So
But how are his bowels?
I
he
mean,
didn't shit himself. So
At least
That
we
you know
know.
of.
I mean, I feel like you would know if you shit yourself. Like I feel like you would know, especially if you're on skates. I don't feel like that's something you can hide. I'm
I
just
mean, you
skating
would-
around with mud butt.
Oh my god.
I think it works that way.
I mean, I would certainly hope so. The Capitals will now move to 31-3 when scoring 3 or more goals. You're scoring 3 or more goals, you should be winning. Like, let's be honest.
Kareem Horton in ECW. So not love tub.
Wait, did you find it?
No, Ryan did.
Oh
There you go.
shit.
Kareem Horton in ECW, he was working Shane Douglas. So not Love Tube Humpy Dump.
I was close.
Yeah, you know what?
You know,
Maybe that was his nickname when he wrestled in Smoky Mountain or something. Because known
100%.
racist Jim Cornette probably fucking came up with the most racist name he could come up with for him.
yeah.
Bang bang, racist gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Details.
The
That's
U.S.
fucking
patent.
him.
Oh, here you go. Here's a little bit of breaking news. Late night. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office rejects the Utah Yetis as the Utah Hockey Club nickname.
It rejects it.
It rejects Utah Yetis.
So they can't be the Yetis.
That's what it says.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Love
All right.
to Humpy Dumpy and no Utah Yetis. God, what a fucking award show we've had. 2024 fucking feels like I ran a marathon.
I promise
Jim-
this is better than the Oscars are gonna be.
That's fucking for sure. Jim, plug away so that we can wrap up 2024 finally.
yeah, at Big Jim Sports, hit the link tree there. It'll take you to the Huddle Up podcast. We only have 2 more live shows on the season because we won't be live this upcoming week. Then we have the Super Bowl preview, Super Bowl wrap up before we head into our off season. 3 Count Thursday, 3CT. We did kind of a weird live show this week. We had literally no topics planned. It was just one of those weeks, and but we wanted to hang out and just shoot the shit. So that was our live show. We have a blind rankings episode coming up on Tuesday. So make sure
Are you ranking blind wrestlers?
No, actually,
You should do that one because Fast Eddie.
I didn't know there was a lot of blind wrestlers, but
Well, there's Fast Eddie. There was that time Jake Roberts was blind. There was that time Sandman was blind. Did I say Fast Eddie?
There was that time Rick Martel was blind.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it.
All right. That's good. Hit my link tree.
Y'all just got me Stevie wondering over here.
Mike, you're a real ray of sunshine.
Thank you.
He's
Crazy Steve is legally blind. Yes, he is.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. You can follow the show at Take
Why
the Number
he
3
spells
Wrestling.
his name wrong.
That's definitely factual. You can follow the show at Take the Number 3 Wrestling. You can follow me at They Call Me Burn. You can listen to me talk over there with Jim over on the Huddle Up feed. You can also listen to me talk South Florida baseball, Sunny Days and Double Plays, the Palm Beach Baseball Podcast. Myself and Carol will be recording an episode hopefully this weekend of our show, 24 Hours to Burn. Joe, put your shirt back on. God damn it, we're still on the air.
Oh boy.
It's not my fault. I thought we were done.
Put up that goddamn disclaimer. We're getting the fuck out of here. We'll see you guys next week right here on the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast.